Good afternoon, this is Jesse. A friend wrote to me and was wondering if I could check Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. So I'm going to show you what we can see about Nancy Pelosi. Obviously she's in a position of great power. She's actually in line to become president if the two buffoons ahead of her, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, happen to not be there. So let's check Nancy Pelosi. I saw the other day her net worth she's a very rich woman, something over, I can't remember what it is, $100 million. So let's check her real net worth. This is not the money she has, but the money that she can use, the worth that she has. So it can vary. It's not exactly money on paper, but it's very similar. Okay, so let's see how we communicate with Nancy Pelosi when the pendulum stops and starts moving side to side. There's stop, now it's going side to side. I have contact with Nancy Pelosi, her net worth in millions of dollars. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. It's real close. 195, 96, 97, 196. $196 million is Nancy Pelosi's net worth. Okay, now, a big indicator is energy age, where most normal people die at 100. However, there's a group of us who now have moved up to fifth dimensional energy age, where we would die at 500. So in this case, I am usually around 100 on this new system, but I'm nowhere near dead, which I would be in the old system at 100. So it's extremely unlikely that she is fifth dimensional, but she would be a relatively normal person and would die at 100 if she were a relatively normal person. So let's check her energy age. And I will, when I have time here, I'll explain what this energy age, how I discovered this. Okay. Check her. It goes back and forth. Her energy age. 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. She's not a normal person, of course. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,300. It's going to be 2,323. 2,323. Of course, I don't move it. It moves on its own. 2,323. It does move my hand a little bit because it's a weight on a string. 2,323. And if I think 2,324, 2,324, it doesn't move. 2,324, there is no energy of truth. But if I think 2,323, it starts spinning back up. 2,323. Okay, the first person, if you want to say person, that I found 2,323 was Satan. The same day I communicated with the Antichrist, who was, his energy age was 666, a known reptilian, Lord Marduk, who's actually mentioned in the Bible and is known to many of the Illuminati. His energy age was 888, and then I decided to go on up and see who's up higher, and so I checked Satan, and his was 2,323, not 2,324. So Nancy Pelosi's energy age is the same as Satan. This is the energy age of angels. In this case, fallen angels, as you will see. However, it's also the energy age of good angels. The first good angel I found was actually a friend who died. And after he died, rather than being 100.1.2 as most people, he went back to his angelic form of an energy age of 2,323. That's when I realized that, oh, it's also the good angels. So, to test if this angel who is controlling the body of Nancy Pelosi, to see if he is a good angel whose level of conscience is many thousands, let's check her level of conscience. She is dominated by this, if you want to say, angelic spirit. Let's check her and check her level of development of conscience. If she were a good angel, it would be many thousands. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32. Their energy age is the same, always 2,323, but their level of conscience varies. Here it's 32, and if I think 33, it's going to stop. Interesting, Hitler was 34. So her level of conscience is 32. That's pretty bad. I've only found like 3 people lower than her who were, interestingly, last week, a leader of the Taliban, Charles Manson, and El Chapo, the Mexican drug lord, who were 19 and 23. Okay, she's 32. A little better than Charles Manson. Okay. Not very good. That's the lowest other person I've found. So now I have found 4 people lower than Hitler. Okay. Let's check her percent sincerity, how sincere she is. Now it's interesting, Hitler was actually very sincere, 90-some%. He believed himself. So a high sincerity does not necessarily mean that they're good. But most people who are liars know when they're lying. So chances are she has a low sincerity. 5%, 10, 15. It's already moving. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23% sincere. 24. Still going at 24. And if I think 25 is going to slow down and top. She is 24% sincere. So obviously she doesn't even believe the things she's saying. She's a liar from the beginning. She'll say whatever. Okay, 24% sincere. Okay, she's very rich. She's controlled by a fallen angel. And she has low sincerity. Okay, now, there are several other things I could check, but they're not that important. And when I find these, I'm going to explain how I found these originally. But first, when I find these who are controlled, and I have asked the pendulum, and it has at least 3 times told me, people who are controlled by these, if you want to say, demonic forces, they are richer and they are more convincing. They have a form of mind control. Have you noticed how a lot of the politicians are just making stupid mistakes you can't believe? People are stopping believing them. That's because a lot of these politicians are no longer reptilian or demonic controlled, and they don't have that ability to say the exact correct thing and control people's thoughts, and along with that energy they had to do it. So people are like not believing the politicians anymore. It's because they're losing that mind control ability. Okay, but Nancy Pelosi still has it. So what I do is I take energy away from that demonic spirit, so I connect with her. Actually, normally there are 2 souls in the same body. There's the original human soul, and there's the demonic or reptilian soul, who is also in the same body. So when I get rid of the fallen angel or the reptilian, then what's left is the human soul, which has a normal energy age and a relatively normal conscience and things like that. So I communicate with Nancy Pelosi, and I'm going to send to take away all the negative power, authority, communication, and energy of Nancy Pelosi. When this process is done, this is an exorcism. When this process is done, she will be a normal, although not good, a relatively normal human being with an energy age under 100. Her level of conscience may have gone up some, depending, and her sincerity may go up some. Okay, I'm to take away her power, authority, communication, and energy. Now, how did I discover I could do these exorcisms? Well, I didn't. It wasn't on purpose. When I learned, I started just asking all kinds of the things of the pendulum. I made it a goal first to learn something every day. So one day I thought, well, maybe the pendulum will tell me people's ages. And the pendulum gave me a number for people's ages, but it wasn't correct. It was close usually, but not correct. And that confused me because I got exact answers for other things, like for things that are lost and stuff like that. And I could even spell out people's names, and they were genuine names. And no, that's weird. Why can't it even answer people's age? So I asked a friend if I could ask his age, and he said sure, and it came out as 56. And he says, I'm not 56, do it again. So I did it again, it came out 56 again. And he said, that thing don't work, I'm 48. Well, that got me thinking. A few days later, I thought, well, what? It's giving me an answer and it doesn't change this, like it really insists that his age really is 56. But what is that? And I thought, well, on that scale, with how many years do we die? And the pendulum answered very clearly, 100. So it's an indicator of health. So I could tell people's health condition and the immediate effective therapies that I would do, because I have helped a lot of people with health problems with the pendulum. Okay, so I started checking people's energy age, and it worked out really accurate and really helpful. But there's this new guy named Giovanni that they put in this group I was in. The pendulum is taking away her negative power, authority, communication, and energy from Nancy Pelosi. And this new guy named Giovanni, and I checked him, I didn't know him, and they just put him in our WhatsApp group, and his energy age was 186. And I thought, wait a minute, even if he died, this guy should be like 101 or something, and nobody mentioned that he was sick or died. What's wrong with this guy? I started asking questions, what's wrong with him? And one of the questions I asked was, does he have a lot of negative energy? And the pendulum indicated yes. So I sent to take away his negative energy, which we're doing here, and it's getting close to stopping in the first step. Okay? The pendulum starts and stops on its own, but it responds to thoughts, of course. How long it moves depends on what has to be done, not my thoughts. Okay, that was the first stage. Now I go to the second stage. I'll do this in 5 stages. So I'll just go on to the next stage, which is to the deepest part of her soul, taking away negative energy. Okay, it starts out going side to side and will gradually turn into circles counterclockwise when it's taking away energy. Okay, so this Giovanni, the pendulum indicated he had a lot of negative energy. So I just sent to take away that negative energy, and the pendulum spun like 15 or 20 minutes, quite a while. And I checked his energy age, and it was 32. And I thought, what? I mean, it was all just negative energy. He wasn't really sick. So what was wrong with this guy? So I checked his chakras. If you don't know what chakras are, it's something you should learn about. His chakras, and I can go back and forth in time, just thinking or telling the pendulum. So I said, okay, before I started, show me his chakras. And his first 3 chakras were strongly backwards, and the other ones weren't moving. And then I said, well, check his chakras now, and they were all stopped. Later on, they start working again, normally. But for a little while after this exorcism, all their chakras are just stopped. Okay? Now, to show you that, let me, just a minute, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back in time 15 minutes here. And, okay, I have contact with Nancy Pelosi 15 minutes ago. Show me her first chakra. Okay, I don't know if you can see that this is going backwards. Her first chakra is spinning backwards. Okay, sometimes if people are sick, their chakras are backwards, but here's her second chakra, backwards. Her third chakra, backwards. See, her fourth chakra, no movement. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, nothing. That is one of the signs of possession. Here's her third chakra again. See, spinning strongly backwards. Okay, now we go back to the exorcism I'm doing. Continue taking away that energy. Okay, so I checked this guy, Giovanni, and his chakras had been backwards, and they were then stopped. So later on, a couple of years later, I read who people who are possessed, the demonic or reptilian entities that are possessing their bodies, remain in the lower chakras because they can't stand the higher energy of the upper chakras, which is interesting. That's why they're only the first 3. Now, the soul is in the area of the 3rd chakra. So when people or anybody has a soul, they'll have some evidence of that in the 3rd chakra. Clones, like Joe Biden, have no 3rd chakra. They have no. Then they also have no soul. Okay, I'll show you him in just a minute here. Okay, this is stopping the second. Okay, sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to waste time here. Let's go back to Joe Biden, the present Joe Biden. Okay, his first chakra, This is what I'm saying. It's really weak, but it is positive. It's not negative. It's a little 1/8 inch circles, very weak, his body. His second chakra, also very weak, little bitty circles. Joe Biden is near death. His energy age is 99 something. His third chakra, see, nothing. Let's go back in time. A year ago, his third chakra. 2 years ago. 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years ago. Never had any third chakra, the Joe Biden, because he's a clone. Is Joe Biden a clone? That's a yes. Okay. Now, let's go back to taking away from Nancy Pelosi, because we want to finish this to show you her new energy age and see if this exorcism affected her level of conscience and her percent sincerity. Okay. This is actually the third step of taking this away. Okay, so this Giovanni, I learned from that case, and a couple years later I was asking, and I found out what the energy age 186 is. The 186 was the energy age of the Anunnaki. If you haven't heard the stories of the Anunnaki, there's a lot of information available on YouTube and online about the Anunnaki, so you can kind of understand who they were. Anunnaki were very important in the history of humans on Earth. And there's a story of Enlil and Enki. And I won't get into that, but I've had an experience with Enki, who actually contacted me through the pendulum. And I hadn't thought that, oh, he's still alive, but they live very long lives. So Enki is still with us. And Enki was one of our creators of the human race as it is now. And so it's interesting. And according to Enki, there are only 9 Anunnaki who are positive for the humans, who are helping us, 9 of them. And several thousand who weren't. There are not really that many Anunnaki. They numbered in the thousands. They did. Okay. This is getting close to finished. That's the third stage. Now I go, after that third stage, I just go deeper and deeper. And it usually moves a little bit. This is the exorcism of Nancy Pelosi. And you'll see her energy age was 2,323. And it's going to be of a probably fairly high up, not very healthy. She's getting old, obviously. And now I say that was deeper and deeper. It's finished. Now super, super, super deep. Okay, this is the last stage in taking away their negative energy. So I did an exorcism on this Giovanni without even trying. I mean, I was just trying to help him because I thought he had health problems. I ended up doing an exorcism on him. That's how I discovered I could do exorcisms. And the next person I found with an energy age like that was a woman whose face melted in front of my eyes when I said that all the passengers of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 are alive and well and we're going to return. She immediately became furious and her reptilian soul took over and she was turning into a reptilian in front of my eyes, and then she controlled it and went back to a human form, but I'd already seen it. That was my one and only personal, up close, within 4 feet experience of a reptilian shapeshifter. Okay, now, Nancy Pelosi, I don't know what happens when you're controlled by fallen angels. The ones who are controlled by reptilians probably are shapeshifters, but okay. Now we're finished, okay? Finished. Let's check Nancy Pelosi's chakras now. Her first chakra, second chakra, third chakra. Notice the pendulum is trembling. There's a lot of energy involved here, okay? But there's no chakras moving, okay? Now let's check Nancy Pelosi's energy age now. That was 2,323, that of a fallen angel, if you want to call them demons. Very low, as I say, extremely low level of conscience, 32. Her energy age now, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's moving, 50, 60, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 80. Her energy age is 80, and if I think 81 is going to stop, her energy age is 80, which is pretty much in line with her general age and health. Okay, so she is now a normal person. Is she controlled by a by a fallen angel anymore? And the answer is a clear no. Okay, that was the exorcism of Nancy Pelosi. Now, let's see if it has affected her level of conscience, which is not going to be good, but it may not be as low as the fallen angel. Her level of conscience, and then we'll check her sincerity. Level of conscience, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 160, 161, 162, 163, and it's going to stop at 163, 162, and it starts again. So it's better, but the average on Earth is now over 800, and she's 162, so don't think she's a good guy or good gal. Okay, her level of sincerity, which was, I think, 24%. It is now 10, 20, 30, wow, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 42. So she went up from 24 to 42% sincere. Still big liar. Hillary Clinton, at least at one time, was 37. That's typical for a lot of big-time politicians, you know. They lie so much they have to be careful to keep on lying to cover up their other lies. Okay? Anyway, that is the story with Nancy Pelosi. I doubt if this has affected her net worth. Let's see. It may over time, but in millions of dollars, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 190, 191, whatever it was real close, 192, 192, it's 191. I thought it was a little bit more before. But that's not going to have much effect on it, at least in the short term. Okay, so that is the exorcism of Nancy Pelosi. So now we have done, wow, the Clintons, a lot of them. You can see my video of, I think it's 2015. Wow. Video of the exorcism of the U.S. Senate, where 61 of the U.S. senators were possessed. But these were 888s, not 2,323. So there are more of these 2023 coming in, which is interesting. It's like maybe they're the final troops. They don't have any more left, so they're sending in the generals. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the story of Nancy Pelosi. Have a great day.